Hello, today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows and a little bit about other topics in between. Let's start with this post from Reddit. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the lowest selling game of the last 5 Assassin's Creed games, despite having the highest budget. I knew it was a flop, but I didn't expect it to be such a disaster. For example, compared to Mirage, which sold 5 million in 3 months, Shadows sold 4 million in 6 months. Fewer copies in double the amount of time, knowing that Mirage sold less than Valhalla, Odyssey and Origins. What a real disaster. So for AC Mirage, Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was said to be on par with past success launches such as Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, currently stands at 5 million players, estimated 250 million in revenue. And let's move on to the next bit. There's an article which starts with Assassin's Creed Mirage has reportedly surpassed 5 million players. Upon its release, Ubisoft stated that Assassin's Creed Mirage was seeing comparable launch numbers to likes of Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey. As per Insiders Gaming's Tom Henderson, since its launch in October, Assassin's Creed Mirage has been played by over 5 million players, bringing in roughly 250 million in revenue shortly after the game came out. Ubisoft labeled it as a success, calling it the biggest current-gen launch so far, with initial player numbers falling in roughly the same range as with Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey's enjoyment upon their respective releases. Now let me say it right here. 5 million players, sales, whatever you want to call it, is good for Assassin's Creed Mirage because it was a smaller budget game. Now the same numbers for Shadows is not great because it had a huge budget, which means it should have sold about 8 million or I don't know, maybe even 9 million copies in order to succeed, which obviously didn't happen with Shadows. Now there were a lot of articles back then which claimed it's the best seller, it sold the best, but yet Ubisoft still had to split their studios apart and give excuse me about that, and give access to Assassin's Creed to Tencent and some other big names in the IPs they hold. Now that wouldn't have happened, or maybe it would have happened regardless, but on a lesser scale than it did if Assassin's Creed Shadows succeeded, which clearly it didn't, despite everybody from journalism scene calling it the biggest success ever. Now this part is from LNA Analytics, if I'm saying that correctly, and this point is about Yote as well. So Ghost of Yote outsold Assassin's Creed Shadows on PS5 already, despite Shadows launching in March and Yote 3 weeks ago. And this I don't mind that they show that the analytics say it outsold on the PS5, but what the article people with the Yote did is that they took this and never mentioned the fact that it's only on PS5, which obviously it outsold Shadows since Shadows released on multiple platforms, which means it also sold somewhere else, not just PS5. And when you compare PS5 only sales, yes, they will be lower because you can get it on PC, you can get it on Xbox and so on. Yes, a game will outsell a game that's only exclusive on a single platform, unless the game's total flop, which with Yote we're still debating about that. Now let's continue. Across all platforms, Shadows performed well in isolation, selling just over 4.3 million copies as per our estimates, with 56% on PS5, 26% on Xbox and 18% on Steam. And that's the thing, what Yote beat was 56% of Shadows' total sales, which all the articles that I've read that said Yote outsold Shadows never mentioned that it was only on PS5. That's where my issue lies with them. Just mention that it's only on PS5 and that's good, but you're misleading it as if it's outsold Shadows in total. And by all means, neither one of those games sold very well. Except with Yote, the budget is apparently as much as Tsushima's, so it's not really that difficult to get profitability since they didn't spend so much. As in Shadow's case, they spent a lot, which means they need to sell a lot, which didn't happen. Now let's continue with some comments. So let's start. But Yasuke is the greatest assassin. It managed to kill the whole running decade franchise. LOL. Even the marketing team knew they effed up with Yasuke. They started hiding his face with a mask in promotional images so you couldn't actually tell he was black unless you looked really hard. Most of the promotional images also featured Naoya instead. And that happened straight after all the controversy with Yasuke being as the main character. In when Ubisoft claimed it was historically accurate, then it was historical fiction, and then it was historical accurate again, which they never could decide whether it was accurate or fiction. But yeah, there was a whole ass controversy about it. He was samurai after all. Yasuke could kill a whole franchise and almost a game company. Beat it. Truly an example of black excellence. Those are some pretty funny comments. But they also emphasize, at least the second comment here, that as the comment stated, even the marketing team knew they screwed up with Yasuke as the protagonist and all the things. I mean, it's just one layer of their screw-ups. There was a lot of them. The deeper you go in the game, the more screw-ups you found. It's as simple as that. Shadows wasn't successful, neither was Yotei successful. Well, we don't still have accurate numbers for Yotei per se, but just saying, like I said, Yotei's excuse might be the smaller budget, the fact that they don't need to outsell that many copies to be profitable, but it also is not selling as well as Tsushima. As for Shadows, it's definitely not selling as well as they would have liked it to. They split the company, so obviously didn't. But like I said, maybe they would have split the company regardless, but maybe on a smaller scale in this sense, maybe not giving as much to Tencent as they did. I'm personally excited about the upcoming projects from Tencent, seeing what they can do. I'm open-minded on that department, but have to see promotional material and so on for the next Assassin's Creed games. But I'm thinking we're seeing a shift in games. At the very least, some companies are now changing, while some getting bought out like EA. And that's the thing, if they don't change and they actually start making products for the players, not their investors, not their perceived modern audiences, somebody's gonna buy them out. And then we're gonna get games that those somebodies like. Other than that, Asian stuff's pretty good. Soon is Where Winds Meet release, which will be a good game. I'd encourage people to check it out. But I will not drag this on about random topics at the end, so I'll see y'all next time.